So in this video I'm going to be building a multi-board, and if you didn't know what one was, it's basically these tiles, hexagonal shaped, that go on the wall, and then you can have attachments like shelves and drawers, etc. So you can store stuff, but you can also display things. So in this video we're going to go through the setup, so how to get the multi-board put on the wall, and that will be the main tiles themselves, and then we're going to look at some of the sort of standard multi-board bins, etc. that you can get, and also I've custom made two, because that's a great thing about the multi-board. You can remix things, basically make your own. So I've got some custom shelves to hold retro handhelds as well. So let's just dive in and have a look at the multi-board website to see what we're working with here. As you can see, we're on the landing page of the multi-board website. And as it says here, your free all-in-one 3D printed storage system. And it's got a really cool picture here showing you all the different types of bins and drawers, shelves, etc. And basically everything that you can do with it. As you can see down here as well, we've got a whiteboard, we've got filament holders. There's just so many different variations that you can do. There's loads of video tutorials as well, and if we click build your multi-board at the top, we've got the learning packs, all sorts of resources to help you plan the multi-board. So the planner, you would give it the dimensions of how big you want your multi-board, and then it tells you exactly how many parts of which part you need to print off. And then we've got the parts library, of course. We've got hooks and shelves, the tiles themselves. We've got bins, dividers, drawers, all different ways to attach to one another, especially at multi-points, where we can attach loads of different things to the multi-board itself. And then we've got multi-board plates, etc, etc. There's absolutely tons on their website. But of course, if you have a look on the MakerWorld website, we can see that people have made so much more stuff. We've got all sorts of holders and hooks, little drawer sets, trays, absolutely tons and tons of different storage options. We've even got the little paints here. It's just so many different ways to store everything, and not just storing stuff, obviously displaying everything as well. And we've also got command strips, and the amount of things that people make with these is absolutely amazing. So now we know what a multi-board is and what it looks like, let's have a look at the space where I'm going to be installing it, because you can probably see it just behind me there, but it didn't look like that before. So let's get that space all cleaned out, ready for the multi-board. So first of all, it's just a simple task of removing everything from this surface, and I will wrap this in matte white a bit later. Get rid of all the handhelds and shelves by unscrewing them. And then of course this wire was for the ESP32. Also pull those LEDs off, and then just take this last shelf off. Now just something quick to note here. The wall did need prepping. Of course, I filled those holes that had the raw plugs in from before, and then I gave it a couple of coats of paint just so it was nice and white. That's why you might see a difference between when I took the shelves off and then when I started fitting the multi-board. But anyway, let's get on with fitting the tiles next. So the way I decided to do it was build so many up first and then screw them to the wall so it could basically be held in place, and then I just added one tile at a time using the snaps to connect them together. And once they were all on the wall, I then put loads of screws in to hold it securely in place. So as you can see, all the tiles are now up and in place. Now you might have noticed that there's a gap around the outside, and that's by design, because what I'm thinking of doing is having like RGB strips around the edge, so it lights up the multi-board from the outside inwards. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think that would be too much RGB? And it is me you're talking to here, so I don't think there ever is such a thing as too much RGB. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think I should edge lit it or do something else to light it up instead? Now before we start putting shelves and bins on the multi-board, Here's a quick message from today's sponsor, JLCPCB, because they were ever so kind enough to 3D print some of the bins for this project. Now, JLC don't just do PCBs, they also have a 3D printing service. In their state-of-the-art facility, they offer a fast, friendly, reliable service at very competitive prices. Now, taking a look at these bins and drawers they printed for the multiboard in black and white, they look absolutely amazing. Now, to get your files 3D printed, all you need to do is drag and drop it across and then select what technology you want to use, and you can get prints for as little as $2.55. So for more information and the latest offers, check the links in the description below. Thanks again to JLCPCB for sponsoring this video. Right, let's get some of these accessories put on the multiboard and see how it all goes together. So the first thing that we're going to add to the multiboard is these bins here. Now these are quite small, and then they have a small black drawer that goes inside. Obviously you can print these in any colour you like, but I'm going for the black and white theme. I think it looks really cool, and then once we've got RGB, it'll look awesome. So these are the connectors. You print them and then you bend them over and it screws into the larger hex on the multiboard, just as you see me doing here. And then of course that bin will just slide on. So this is a very, very easy and basic way of attaching them, and it does the job nice and secure. So let's go ahead and get all of these added, because I'm putting 6 on in total. Now, of course, as you can see, I've also put the black side trims on there, and they look really cool. So next, we're going to be using the JLC 3DP ones, so the ones that JLC printed for me. Now, the white isn't the same white, it's kind of like an off-white, but that's not going to bother me, to be fair. Now, these bins are a lot bigger and you can store a lot more stuff in them. Now, they do connect exactly the same way, but we're going to use 2 connectors this time instead of just the 1. And of course, we have 4 of these bins, and they look really nice, to be fair, and there's a lot more storage there now. So we've looked at 2 different types of storage bin, but how about we look at something to display stuff? Now, these are the Resident Evil T viruses, and this is the custom sort of shelf that I designed. Again, link will be in the description below for MakerWorld. So this is the perfect size to display these on, and it's going to hold it in there nicely. So let's get these set up. So now we've got those set up, they look awesome. Just look how cool they look. So next up, we've got these small shelves, and what I'm going to be using these for is putting my little Lego men that I get at toy fairs. So I've got 6 of these little Lego men, and basically we're going to put these shelves and then put them on here. They look really cool, and it's nice to display little bits and bobs. Next up, we have slightly bigger shelves. Well, I say slightly bigger, they're 4 times the size of the other shelves that we use for the Lego. But we're going to put these 2 shelves on here. I don't have anything to put on it at the moment, but I'm sure I'll find something soon. So next up, I wanted a way to sort of show off my handhelds and retro handhelds. So this is basically a retro handheld holder, and I'm going to have 10 of these all together, but for now we're just going to have the 4. We've got the Trimu brick, the Mia Mini Plus, I've got my Atomic Purple PSP, and then we've got the Game Boy Color with the OLED screen. Now they look really good, and they are universal for lots of different handhelds. Now of course there is loads of cool accessories still to come, and you can probably see one just behind me here. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm designing a downlight that's powered by an ESP32. One ESP32 to be exact, because these downlights are going to be daisy chained, and each of these handhelds is going to have its own downlight, sort of lighting up the handheld, as you can see behind me. Now, of course, this is for a future video because it's a whole thing within itself, but I will be releasing all the STL files and Gerber files. Everything you need will be released for free on MakerWorld or in the description of videos if it's something different like a Gerber file, etc. Now, multi-boards are really cool, and when I was actually looking, there's quite a few different sort of multi-board style things that you can get, but what attracted me to the multi-board one is just the community around it. If you have a look on MakerWorld, there's so many different custom things that people have made, and of course I'm going to be making loads of cool custom things and sharing them for free as well. So this is definitely an ongoing project. I am going to be printing lots and lots of stuff for the multi-board, and as we progress things will change around and positions, etc. So for an update, just have a look in the background of the video and you'll see how we're getting on. So if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Now, of course, if you want to be kept up to date, anything 3D printing, etc., don't forget to like, subscribe, and then hit that bell icon so you don't miss any future videos. I'm JP, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.